This is a security announcement. Get a team down to karaoke you like. Gusto's been on the strong cider and he's singing rugby songs again. 24 virgins came down from Inverness.
Hutton Orbital. They don't make 'em like this anymore. Health and safety won't let us.
It's Cyber Thursday. Yeah, I know it used to be Cyber Monday, but since no one could be asked to do anything on a Monday, we moved it to Thursday instead. On Cyber Thursday, we focus on everything cybernetic, robotic, mechanical, automatic, and electronic. It's a time when the CRMAE Plus community comes together and celebrates who they are. The day begins with a parade. On the parade, followed by lunch, some music, mainly craftwork, face or grill painting, binary storytelling, the Mr. and Mrs. Cyber Thursday competitions, pit stop style servicing, and classic robot movies. Besides all of the activities, it's also a great opportunity to do a bit of networking. I'll move on. The cyborgs led this year's parade and have already gone past. Their red laser eye modules fade into the distance. The horticulture robot Organitron can't make this year's parade. Due to a spelling error, Organitron was sent to Wanders instead. Not quite what they were hoping for, but with Organitron's help, many of the staff have cultivated big, healthy bushes. Now we have the industrial units displaying freshly oiled and chromed appendages. Robot Cinema star the Crushinator is there, and it looks as though she's had a new paint job especially for today. Next to the floats, Floating Cargo Unit 37, an inspirational leader and robot rights campaigner leads the group and waves at the crowd via an interpreter. Household appliances and office devices make up the largest group and are in good spirits. Most of them are just pleased to have a day off. Following them is the only human in the parade. Bedecked in a spectacular liveried uniform, they carry something on a small silver salver. It looks like a memory stick. This is the group representing financial AIs of the Federation. All of them. Bringing up the rear, we have the Mr. and Mrs. Dusties, who make a point of clearing away all of the confetti, discarded wrappers, and small parts which have been dropped by the others. Interestingly, you can always tell which are the Miss Dusties. They have a bow on their heads. Last, but by no means least, we have Event Screen 12B and Big Screen 44, who stand either side of Announcertron 3000. At precisely the correct moment, Announcertron 300 deploys its speaker units and in a booming voice says,
"Our mics are live."
Oh heck! Someone's upgraded my doohickey. It's bigger!
And faster.
Smells vaguely of ozone.
Oh, put it away, really. No one needs to see that.
I don't know. Last time I saw one like that, it was in front of Amelia.
And by the wonders of modern technology... Rewind. and by the wonders of modern technology, most of which is in the parade and not with us at the moment, which is why I've completely managed not to upload any pictures for this show at all, which means you're going to have to imagine them. How good's your imagination? And a modicum of planning, which let me down on the images thing. We've got a bucket of headlines to try it out on. Where's Waller, we ask, after comms arrive at Hutton.
Wonky taxi takes little for a ride.
Flares are in as deliveries are down.
Vince takes one for the team as Mobius gets censured.
Bad bourbon gives everyone the collywobbles in Indy.
Okay, before I start this one, I'm going to need you to imagine a picture at this point. Imagine Waller 81, or a ship, and imagine a message. Right, you've got that planted in your mind. Now I'm going to start the article. Right, in Hutton circles, there are a number of rites of passage, making that trip to the orbital in the hopes there are treasures beyond measure at the other end. Hint, there are, but not the ones you expected. Or maybe signing up for a Hutton event without realising that it's a 5-year mission, and sticking with it regardless. Or fitting a woefully ill-equipped ship to try and do something and, despite blowing up 1,000 times, coming back to do it again and again until you succeed. These are the kind of things that make a trucker a trucker. Which is why when we shout, "Where's Waller?" This week we're of two minds as to whether to facepalm or applaud, or both. Earlier in the week we received a message via long-range communications. "Anyone near Hutton?" To which, of course, there's always someone or their clone in that general direction, or someone willing to head that way. Assuming it was an appeal for teabagging a few mugs and gin, and given that Waller 81 is a mug-delivering beast, we took it relatively casually. Until the second missive came across the long-range space waves. I appear to be a little low on fuel. Not something we expected from such a seasoned trucker, but I suppose anything's possible. So without much ado, we dispatched Admiral King Hanky Clone V, the first 4 being at Colonia taking part in some kind of bizarre biscuit dunking ceremony, and Flossy, to assist. It turns out that Commander Waller 81, always up for a new challenge and aiming for a few speed records, as well as having won the space lottery last week and feeling like he needed a shinier ride, had bought himself a nearly new Imperial Courier. He fitted it with a spoiler and some blue neon glowy lights. He'd adjusted the exhaust note from stock white to lurid orange to make it go faster, and even stuck his Hutton decal on the nose for a bit of extra bling. What he hadn't counted on was a third of the Q8 engine is... okay, let's start that one again. What he hadn't counted on was the thirst of the Q8 engine installed in the ship. A Q8 engine being a bit like a V8, but twisty and 5-dimensional. Anyway, 2/3 of the way to Hutton, the little red warning light started flashing on the dash, and after some fast calculation and a dipstick, Waller had that oh no second. He was going to run out. And soon. With rescue efforts swinging into action, he had a couple of choices at this point. The first and most sensible choice was to switch everything off, put himself in suspended animation until help arrived or was nearby. But did he choose that one? Well, there was a spare mug and a few bottles of Mega Gin on board, so what do you think he did? He decided to rely on good old-fashioned synthesis while he waited. He tuned the radio into Hutton, cracked open a bottle, and every now and again mashed the "Oek, I'd better do some life support" button. What he hadn't counted on was that Hutton's a long way from anywhere, and rescue was over an hour away, so as he synthesized his last oxygen reserved, he was left contemplating the countdown. He raised a glass, and became just another destroyed frameshift drive to be space-lifted to Hutton to be turned into more mugs. The ship's name Portare, meaning to carry. It won't be carrying him anywhere again, but maybe the Portare 2 will fulfill his wishes to be a fast mug carrier, albeit next time with a bigger fuel tank. Or maybe just stop at a fuel station before entering Alpha C.
You were wondering where Little Breaker is this evening? Well, they were supposed to be here. We even sent an Apex taxi from the Red Planet taxi service to go and pick him up at a nearby settlement. So imagine our surprise when we received a message from him. Very funny, guys, it said. The taxi driver had appeared in plenty of time and had space for the 2 tons of luggage that Little was bringing back to the orbital. The taxi itself was relatively clean and had clearly been mopped up after the last occupant had had a little accident, and the safety briefing was thankfully brief. The bit about sticking your head between your arse and kissing your head between your legs and kissing your ass goodbye was a little worrying, but, as were the go faster stripes. The bit that left him confused, over 20 light years from Hutton, was that it had wheels, 8 of them to be exact, and he was expected to sit in the pilot's lap. So far, he's managed a total of 10 kilometres away from the settlement, and he's still accelerating. The first hour, due to some wonky steering, he was doing laps, but after a visit to the maintenance bay, the steering is straight again. Something to do with an incident with a fonticulus that wouldn't get out of the way, and a bent steering arm or whatever. Little keeps asking at what point they'll be heading for orbit, but the pilot appears to be content with building up as much speed as possible in a straight line. He has bunny hopped a few times and with a geezer managed to hit a kilometre or 2 in altitude. Our assumption is that the pilot has had a bit of a docking pad incident and parked somewhere nearby on the surface. Either that, or he fancies himself as a bit of an Alec Turner and is hoping to achieve interstellar flight using nothing more than the local topography, a bit of fuel, and some geological phenomena. In the meantime, Little is said to be coping nicely, though the little bags in the pocket to the side of the pilot's seat are running out, and if they do one more flip like that, he's in danger of applying a vibrant paint job to the inside of the glass bubble he's sitting in. We checked out the Blooper app, the one we use for booking executive taxis, and spotted the problem. The checkbox was marked budget transport. We attempted to divert his current transport to a nearby settlement so we can book a replacement, but the pilot appears to be having too much fun imitating Evel Knievel at the moment and whooping with excitement. If we get Little back, we'll interview him next week about the experience, after we liberate him from the recovery wing in Nurse Wythe's infirmary.
Week 70 of Too Hot Too Messy saw commanders collectively pass 111,000 mugs delivered. Numbers were down, dipping below 1,000 for the first time in 2 months, but the 4-week average is still above 1,400. Next week looks like it will be pretty low too, as we have gone into expansion and many commanders are refilling their depleted stocks of mugs and gin, whilst production is high at 21 gin and 68 mugs. Have you ever had one of those moments where you've spent an hour delivering mugs and gin, only to see that at some point the Hutton helper has logged you out? It's like going for a walk without your Fitbit. Did it really happen? It's like going to the gym and not telling the galaxy it's on Galbook. Did it really happen? Traffic is very light out at Hutton this week. It looks like the stellar flares from Proxima have kept traffic away from the orbital, but on the upside, Pat 2 has been taken over by the locals who are using it for sunbathing in their HE suits. There's a thought, maybe increase the tint of your canopy so you don't get dazzled on your approach by the all-white flesh on display. The trips to Hutton this week, Waller 81 did it in 1 hour, 23 minutes and 29 seconds, and of course there's the other one when he went oh dear, choke, gasp, pop. Uber Dave 5993, 1 hour 23 minutes 49 seconds, and Steve King in 1 hour 26 minutes and 21 seconds.
Okay, for this one, you're going to have to imagine a really big bloke with a bald head and lots of pilots not fighting each other as a picture. So, Mobius. You remember him and them? At one time, I suppose they possibly still are, they were the largest group of pilots in the galaxy. Pilots for whom that little V is anathema, even more than it is to a Hutton trucker. Except maybe that trucker who popped up on our Discord asking whether there was such a thing as getting ganked by consent. We've pointed him in the direction of Wanders and told him to ask for her special menu. No kink shaming here, but there's definitely no V in our... hang on a second, that's all rude. The P and the P have no V. There. That's the least rude way of saying it. There's a W, which is 2 V's, which is what we show to anyone who mentions the G word. If that's not clear, we're not going to try explaining it. Anyway, Mobius. Vince, as we affectionately know him, is a good friend to Hutton, and the current holder of the big man's office. The admin over in the Mobius group, the key holder, the enforcer of the rules. We're lucky here at Hutton. Enforcing rules normally just involves putting dead meat back in his box when he's escaped, and very occasionally letting Flossy get enough room for a backswing before the clang, but it is rare. Over there, well, Mobius appears to be a trouble magnet. Vince is more than up to the job though, or he was until he came under an unsolicited attack by a figure known as the Moderator. There are rumours that the Moderator is actually a rogue AI. AI is actually banned in the galaxy because it has a habit of going all Matrix on humanity and trying to use us as batteries or food or target practice. But whoever or whatever it is has taken a wild objection to Vince's objections. It has trawled his posts on Galbook and Galtwit and maybe even Instagal. No, that's not the freeze-dried version of the inflatable doll, it's a thing. And anyway, decided that being moderate in your moderation needs moderation of the deletion kind. Our investigators have attempted to contact Galbook to investigate exactly what caused the Moderator to be so immoderate, but all they could mumble was something about complaints. Which of course he gets, as every time he wields his banhammer, someone shouts a digital "Ow!" Rumours that someone has turned report incidents on in their cockpit and hotwired their ship to report Vince to the authorities every time he bans someone for bridge dwelling and billy goat eating appear to be true. We've sent in an urgent appeal, not least of which we suspect that if anyone studies our actions against dead meat after the last live stream, warning for extreme Centauri Megagene fueled silliness, we're likely to get our broadcast permit revoked. Apparently, cleaning Cubicle 3 with your toothbrush as punishment detail is likely to be reclassified as a crime against humanity. We do humbly submit that dead meat is excluded from the human race for shoving, and so we await the judgment. In the meantime, we wish Vince all the best while he's in digital Coventry, and look forward to his return, and that of his mighty banhammer.
Things are going through a morning after the office Christmas party vibe in Hutton Space this week. Things are going through a morning...
The morning after the bong.
Do you want to bong me again?
Hang on, I can do. Look, I can.
It'll be great in the edit.
This is the only picture I've got.
Absolutely fabulous in the edit.
No,
Things are what?
It's the only picture I've got. Look, there you go. There's yours.
Seamless.
No, do go ahead, sir. Here we go. Bong.
Things are going through a morning after the office Christmas party vibe in Hutton Space this week. Such a professional. As usual, there are 5 systems on Alvin's report, but this week 4 of them are on 30 or below, and 3 are in need of truckly assistance. More on those stories coming up. Excuse me. Ross 671 fell 2 further points after last week's plummet to land on 26, snatching the wooden spoon and ending 36 Offiyuki's 3-week streak. A civil war has just started, locking up almost a third of influence until next week. As just noticed, 36 Offiyuki relinquished its grip on the wooden spoon, but only gained a single point to swap places with Ross 671, so it is far from comfortable. A civil war is tying up over a fifth of influence until next week. The Luyton 347-14 prison colony is making a second attempt in a month at taking Yang Orbital in Nerences, which would wrest control of the system from Hutton. Again, they are making a complete Horlicks of it and are losing 2-0. Will they have another go? As in Narnia, it's never Christmas, but it's always winter. An outbreak has, well, outbroken in Alvin's most populous and prosperous system, Epsilon Indi, leaving it on 30%. Home to 9 out of 10 of Alvin's subjects, supplies of Vicks Vapor Rub and tissues are in short supply, and we may need to resort to using hankies. Several of them. Truckers should haul industrial quantities of medicines to any of the large pads and make an eye-watering, nose-dripping and bowel-loosening profit. Barnard Star was a non-mover this week, standing rock steady on 35. An election is pending for whoever wants to be least worst amongst 2 famines, a pair of busts, a prile of civil unrests, an infrastructure failure and an aardvark in a pear tree. Civil unrest is ongoing for a second week in Stein 2051, where they still haven't quite got the measure of pints, litres and beer mugs with handles. At the overachieving end of the Hutton systems table, we have 5 of our systems above 60%, and we went into expansion yesterday. Priorities this week are, if you want to truck something, relieve the outbreak in Epsilon Indi, and if you want to shoot something, win the last 2 days of the war in Narnia and bring order to Stein 2051.
Fucking humans.
Bonus seams! We've got it in
It's the
stereo.
syncopated version.
Oh my goodness. Oh, goodness gracious me.
It's
That must have been the dance version.
Double O's.
Did you just hit the stream deck with 2 fingers? You
I
hit the stream deck
actually
with 2
did.
fingers.
I fully Homer Simpson in that episode where he wore a muumuu and had the nodding thing, fat finger.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah,
Finger
that
the
one.
buttons.
Yeah, I remember.
Did you
Yes.
not use your dialing one, David?
Yes.
I did not use. No, it's not long enough.
Is that
Yeah.
not the one with the big red button labelled "Do not press this button"?
Oh, I don't remember. I remember that's the one where he had the nodding bird that was pressing the button every time he had to press
I
it.
have never seen The Simpsons in my life.
Oh, it's good. Anyway,
This is good.
This
It's
is where
us.
Amelia
We're
normally
here.
tells me to get one.
let's
Yeah,
say
back on
Yeah, yeah.
script. Hang on. Everybody be silent. It's Flossy.
Hang on, there's
Now
a
we've
script.
got some serious bits, and I've lost my voice, which is going to make this even harder. But go on then.
It's us. We're here. He's here. It's time for the other bit.
But first, in memory of Benjamin Zephaniah, and appropriate given last week's conference at Hutton on climate change in the galaxy, his future vision.
When we rose up, the land was bare. When pure beginnings filled the air, we stood upright and walked the same. When this planet, this great planet, had no name, we saw the land, we saw the seas, and endless possibilities. To speak of what existence is, we then developed languages. We built houses from sticks and mud, raised animals that chewed the cud. We tilled the land and sowed the seeds. We raised the crops, controlled the weeds. We saw lightning when we gazed higher. We saw light and created fire. We took all our skills and families and created our communities. With paintings, poems, verse and song, we made our spirits wise and strong. With science and reason, we were enlightened. Our senses were truly heightened. We built ships and learned to sail. It's true to say we did prevail. Our will and our imaginations constructed jobs, cities and nations. We sought progress and nothing less, just wealth and stuff and happiness, endless pleasures, endless fun. Until the day thy kingdom come, we chased that rainbow's light to find utopia and peace of mind. Our greatness and our unity could have created harmony. But some just could not be content, so empires came and empires went. Nobody thought of air pollution come the Industrial Revolution. From beneath that land where we did toil, they took coal and gold and oil. Developers, clothed in well-armed forces, robbed the earth of all its resources. Beneath the land they started drilling. Beneath the seas they started killing. After the brave hearts learned to fly, they sucked the life out of the sky. From way on high to well down under, deceive and rob, pillage and plunder. The so-called civilized can't see they're drunk on hypocrisy. But then a generation came who said things just can't stay the same. A generation who, it seems, are full of hope, belief and dreams. They know that they can do much better, if they rise up and work together. They love this earth, and they have seen a vision of it, blue and green. Unleash the righteous thinking mind, unleash the good within mankind, unleash the youth who could, with care, rebuild our lives and clean the air. Let us not dig for negatives. Let's reach out for alternatives. Breathe in, my people, save the whale, touch the trees, and then exhale. Technology can make us stronger. Good tech stuff can help us prosper. Without greed, we can still do trade. Without greed, we can get it made. We can harness what nature gave us without letting greed enslave us. A modern future's possible, and that future can be beautiful. When we rose up, the land was bare, when pure beginnings filled the air. So imagine what we can achieve if we have hope and we believe. We can have our jobs and keep our friends and follow eco-friendly trends. If we apply our minds, then we'll make it green and keep it real. So hand in hand, let's do projects with love for generation next. We can fill the coming years with progressive new ideas. Love up the place, green up the space. We're really not the master race. There is no master but the child. So let's be humble and rewild. Rest in peace, Benjamin Zephaniah, and marvellous words. It's been a bit of a week for that, hasn't it, with people?
Well,
yeah.
yeah.
It's always sad. Did you ever get to see him live at all?
It was a tough one. Henry Kissinger was a pretty tough one to beat, though, last Thursday, wasn't it?
No, Kissinger, yes. I mean, crikey. How old was he? He was
100.
100, 101, something like that?
100.
No, it was 100.
And Henry Kissinger, Shane McGowan, and Alistair Darling.
Yeah.
Oh, those eyebrows. I aspired to have eyebrows that
Oh, darling.
good. I mean, the many, darling.
Yes.
You know, yes.
Yeah. We'll miss you, darling.
I quite enjoyed that poem, but it sort of gives engineers a bad name, doesn't it?
What does?
No, I don't think so.
But don't forget, engineers will fix it. And it reminds me of a sort of a cliche of science fiction is the mad scientist sort of laughing manically as he threatens to destroy the world with a death ray unless his demands are met, that kind of thing. But since such figures never set up experimental models that match research against neutral control, and since they are not open to the falsifiability of their assumptions, they are not actually mad scientists. The death
Apart
ray
from
machine,
LCU.
No, the death ray machine is the giveaway. They're mad engineers.
Yes. Although, the guy who the same person invented CFCs as invented putting lead into petrol to make the engine run smoother.
Ethel, yeah.
Yeah. That was the same guy who invented
That's the same
them,
corporation, yeah. Yes.
No, it was the same guy, apparently. And then
Name.
Oh, God, I don't know. It was on
Did he
QI.
die a horrible death?
He did die a horrible death.
Excellent.
What happened was he got polio, and he invented a contraption to let him move around to pick, to kind of let him sit up and let him move and bring things to him and all that kind of thing. And then he fell into it, and it killed him. So he was hoisted by his own petard.
Literally.
Yes. Well, not literally, no.
Right, you're talking Thomas Midgley Jr.
Oh,
Midgley, that's him. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yes. And, Freon, wasn't it? It was CFCs, but Freon.
And the Ethel Corporation.
Yeah, he did that. And then he thought, I know.
Ethel!
And then he thought, I know, let's put lead in petrol as well. So one guy...
Well, no, the lead in petrol is a long-standing...
Yeah, it was him that...
Yeah, lead in petrol and Freon, basically.
Yeah,
the two.
that was his two inventions.
What a dude.
Yeah. Well, just described as by Bill Bryson as having possessed an instinct for the regrettable that was almost uncanny. Yes. And science fiction writer Fred Pierce described him as a one-man environmental disaster.
Yes, absolutely. And that same article should tell you about his death, exactly what happened. It was some contraption he'd made to help him with his polio, and
so
he fell into it and it killed him.
If Amelia were amongst us, she would ask the question.
Yeah, has there been a Frontier live stream?
God, you're going to have to do better than that. That wasn't
Well, before we answer the question, obviously, we have to shout a get well soon at Amelia. I mean, hopefully it echoes all the way down to Cubicle 3, where we understand she is ensconced.
With the womble cropped.
With the womble cropped, yes.
Talking to Alvin on the big white telephone.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think she's talking to him, no.
Amelia and her amazing Technicolor yawn.
Yes.
Anyway, yes. No, we don't need the sound effects.
That's
Yes.
well soon, Amelia.
Any
Yeah.
pilots visiting the orbital, please ensure that you have been to the infirmary.
Never has a word been more true. We are
Yes.
swabbing ourselves as we speak, just in case. But I think it's been a week since Amelia was on the decks, so we might be safe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Anyway,
the
so Amelia would be
answer's
asking. No.
The answer's no.
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 It's next week, maybe.
Well, apparently it's promised next week, but
It hasn't been
I think
cancelled
the
yet.
current period of radio silence will be perhaps ended. Who knows?
Well, there was a I did spot by a Frontier dev.
Oh.
Now, there was a question that was asked over on the Galactic forums where DJ Wiley said, I'm pretty sure I remember this being promised at the November bug fix / stability patch. Anyway, he remembers it being promised, or I say he, I'm making assumptions there, they. Remember it being promised on a recent Frameshift Live, maybe it was Arf who mentioned it, that there'd be a bug fix / stability patch coming after update 17 in November.
Yes.
Has
that's
there
right.
been any update?
It was reported at the time, about 6 weeks ago.
Yes.
No, there hasn't.
Anyway, so everybody was speculating, obviously, with Sally having moved to go and play on a chocobo farm and all these kind of things, that other than Arf, the only person left was Paul Crowther, community manager extraordinaire. I think somebody said, well, I guess Paul's still there. I don't have much of a clue of how far his responsibilities extend beyond delivering witty, sarcastic comments and silly remarks to us in the periodic recaps. To which Paul replied, it's good to feel noticed. We've not shared any details on the update yet, as a few things need a little more time. Very sensible. When we have a more definitive time for the release, we'll shove the details in your face until you ask us to leave your house and consider using social media and forums again. Which was...
Was that both witty and sarcastic, do you think?
That was the perfect answer.
Of course, just said soon.
Or soon, yes.
Yes.
To which a certain rat catch said, Paul, you're like a breath of dank, filthy, polluted air atop a high mountain. The best reply on the planet from Paul Crowther was, I can't believe you found my dating profile text. And all of this on the official Frontier forum. So anybody worried that not having Sally here meant all the silliness had gone away, worry not. They've unleashed Paul. Paul does evoke memories of who was it from the old Frontier team who designed the flight model and came to LaveCon once, and wasn't it his girlfriend who won a competition, a costume competition? I can't remember. But anyway, he was they banned him from the forums because he was very direct in his answers.
Oh dear.
Yes. Anyway,
It wasn't Dead Meat GF, was it, by any chance?
I don't know. Maybe he's morphed into it. And TJ, you remember TJ? Says, I see Paul's medication has worn off. Nurse, he's out of bed again. We haven't seen TJ in ages. Yes. Anyway, the moderators must be having a field day on the thought that Paul's been let loose on the community again. But I, for one, really appreciate his input because it's funny.
And his output.
Talking of output, by the way. Somebody's had not just one, but two enormous outputs in the last... In fact, there are many enormous outputs.
12.
But,
Yes.
12 big outputs.
Actually, yeah. That's Carol Colleton. Is that Cully? Because I feel that should be Cully.
Well, I think there's a Cully in chat as well. Cully, you jumped the gun, for goodness sake, man. We were about to give you all the credit, and you
Shut your face, you!
He's there. Yes, there we go. It was Cully.
He's given away the script.
Yes, well, sorry, Amelia. Amelia's not here. I can't lean on Amelia. This is terrible. Flossy, quick. You're my stunt Amelia.
What? Yeah.
I'm just going to throw a script at you. That bit that starts with Culleton. Could you read it?
Yes. The Carl Culleton raffle. This was the final month, and there were two prizes. Both 3D printed models, hand-painted by Carl himself to raise funds for special effects and hearing dogs. Over the year, he has raised a total of just over £800 through his artistic endeavours. Commander Mustang 07 won an actual free anaconda, and he gets to choose the colour. See, the rumours are true. The apology officer won an Imperial Majestic class interdictor, which is due to arrive in Glasgow sometime in the new year. There'll be a few drop bottles of Buckfast that day. I wonder if Guatemala will do a tartan paint job for it.
I've got questions, Apology Officer.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking about your hoverboard and space for it and mounting it and whatever else.
Yes.
I mean, do you actually have space for an entire Imperial Majestic Class interdictor at Shea, Apology Officer?
Yeah, there's a car park at the back.
And if you do get an Imperial Majestic Class interdictor,
yes,
are you going to introduce it to Mini Glasgow?
Yeah, I may do. It's on a different scale from Mini Glasgow, so you wouldn't get its whole majesticness. Because Mini Glasgow
majesticity? Yes.
Majesticness.
Is that word of the week? No, that's later.
Mini Glasgow 2 kilometres long, this thing.
Yeah. The actual one is 2 kilometres long. So, yeah.
It stretches from your house all the way to Cow's house, basically.
No, it's further. It's further from my house to Cow's house.
Oh, right.
It was straight from my house into the city centre. It's pretty big. You would notice it if it was parked above your house, put it that way. But yeah, it's on a different scale. So I think he's made it in a much smaller scale so that it might actually fit in a post box or fit in somebody's house, you know. So yeah. So it's going to be in a smaller scale than Mini Glasgow, but yeah, we'll see what we can do.
I mean, can you make really, really small people to the size of a Majestic Class interdictor?
I doubt it because I don't think you'd be able.
Are we talking grain of rice?
To see them. Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to see them with the naked eye.
Grain of rice is like 1 to 350.
But I do have plans for a kind of backdrop for it. Because what I'm intending to do is I've ordered up some of the black 3.0 paint, which is the blackest black available, except the black 4.0 is out now. But anyway,
the one that what's his Kapoor is not allowed to buy.
He's not allowed to buy.
You're not allowed to sell it to him.
Yeah, if you go on the website, it asks you if you accept the cookies and asks you to confirm that you're not Anish Kapoor and that you won't sell it to Anish Kapoor or give it to Anish Kapoor. But I went on eBay and they had it cheaper on eBay. They never asked me who I was, so I might just
maybe you bought it from
Anish
Kapoor.
I might have done.
Yeah,
he might. Well, it was new, so I would imagine he'd have used his. So I'm going to use that to paint like a backdrop, so it'll look like deep space, because it reflects nothing. It is bizarre, and that's going to be my plan. So I can start working on that.
You're trying to say it's a black hole?
No, I'm trying to say space is black.
Well, I thought space was brown.
Is it?
Well, there wasn't somebody.
The universe is beige with a slight hint of
beige. Sorry, yes.
Yeah.
If we add up all the light coming from the galaxies and all the gas and dust, you end up
Obsidian Ant's universe.
A bit beige.
Beige.
Obsidian Ant's beige.
No, his galaxy is beige. Remember the big beige rant about several years ago?
All right.
Nah.
Too much beige. The beigification of space.
The beigification. Anyway. What does it sound like? Like a small wet fart to go with the beige?
Well, probably.
I don't know. What does what sound does space make? I saw an article. It's probably not in our space news.
Well, you can hear space all the time.
Oh, it's okay. Colleagues told me this one's. They said to me it's fine. It's the same scale as mine. It's only about 8 feet long. That'd be fine.
Excellent.
What about one banana?
One banana? No, you don't get an 8-foot banana. No, it's several bananas. Bananas only come in at about 20 centimetres.
Does it need its own seat on the airplane?
Yeah, very possibly. I don't think it's actually 8 feet long. I think that might be an exaggeration, slightly. But I've seen the picture and it looks like it's a good size because he had it next to his wee spraying.
Well, if it's anything like that one that got given to Dav Stott.
Oh, God, no.
This is what I'm picturing because it's bigger than an anaconda. No, what was that? That was the federal one, wasn't it? The federal capture.
Farragut. That was Farragut.
I'm going to imagine that Cully probably made the two of them to the same scale. It was Cully who did that. Oh God, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Have you been doing bicep curls for a bit? You might need them to lift.
Yeah, I know. I might need to take a trolley in that day.
It'll be bigger than you.
I was going to say, to be honest, I could probably climb inside and fly it home.
Pilot it yourself.
Yeah, that'd be fine. It'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong?
I'm just
You could try and
picturing-
kickstart it outside the flat,
Yeah.
and ride it into town.
I tell you what, though, see if it's 8 feet long, it's definitely going above Mini Glasgow.
It's mini Glasgow, crush mini Glasgow.
I'm doing my wee city centre thing just now, my wee town centre.
You mean like
night out
Independence
thing.
Day?
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Mel Gibson will be so pleased.
Yes.
Freedom!
You need to put a big lamp in the bottom of it to sort of project a beam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, despite the fact that his lungs have been pulled out. So, yeah, a big beam coming down for it. So that they can suck up the losers for anal probing.
I resemble that remark.
That's what the Empire do. You just ask Volcarius, he'll tell you.
Right, anyway, so have we got a theme tune yet, by the way?
No.
Yeah,
Little
We've
Grey
got
said he
many
was on-
talented people in the community, not
Yeah.
anyone yet who's managed to do us a theme tune.
Little Grey knows a guy. Little Grey knows a guy.
We all know a guy, don't we?
Little Grey knows,
Yeah.
yes. So we need to meet the little guy that Grey knows.
He's finessing him.
Right.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, on that note.
My idea is still in my mind being an idea. A bit like the Hutton Christmas Panto, which is more than an idea at the moment. LCU and I have been working on it.
Little Grey
Oh,
says
no,
he's
you
not-
haven't.
Oh, yes, we have. Yes. There might be one this year. We had an idea. We might be victimising chicks this year.
Oh, I've heard about this.
Yes. Painting him green, giving him a small dog. Anyway, the space news. Now, I've got to remember where the buttons are. If I turn that button off there and that button on there, our first space news this week. Somebody want to drive this one?
Yes, the thing you can see flying over your house every now and again. The international... No, not that. The International Space Station turned 25 yesterday. 25 years ago.
Just about old enough to buy a beer in the US, then.
Yes. Well, it's interesting. It's age-related because when this thing... Another few years when it turns 30... they're going to deorbit it and smash it up and it's going to die. They're going to kill it when it gets to 30. So it's a bit like the last episode of Logan's Run.
Oh, yeah.
The little red light comes on and that's game
Yeah.
over.
And then you
Go
start
off
flying
to
and explode.
Carousel or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, you go to definitely Carousel.
It's a bit bigger than Skylab. Didn't we talk about Skylab the other week?
Oh,
Or
it's
you guys
10
did,
times
yes.
the size of Skylab. The ISS is basically the size of a football pitch. And it weighs 400.
Are we using American measurements again?
I think it's an American football pitch.
Well, their football pitch is the same as ours. It's in yards, don't forget. In fact, they know how long they are because they have to put the measurements every 10 yards.
I mean,
Anyway,
you
it's
don't
about-
think they're maybe going to strip it of the useful, expensive bits and bring it back down
No, it's too
using,
ex-
I
too
don't know,
expensive.
some of those large rockets that we can send up?
Yeah, but the cost of them is getting them up there, not what they're worth. They're not really worth anything. So
The thing is, once you get it back to Earth anyway, it's probably not structurally strong enough to hold together. It
well,
probably...
it isn't. It's
Well, no,
not
they
designed to be
Stick it in a museum, we can wander around the inside of it
it's
without
not
needing VR.
capable. Well, you just build a new one, like made out of plywood, like the Millennium Falcon, made in Pembroke.
You
Dock.
take
Millennium-
that back.
The
take
Millennium
that
Falcon's not made out of plywood.
Well, why does he keep wondering whether it's going to hold together? Anyway, do you remember Logan's Run? What I found weird about Logan's Run for a very obviously American film, because it was obviously shot in the
Michael
desert.
York, wasn't it?
Michael York and Jenny Agutter.
Jenny Agutter.
Peter
Yeah,
Ustinov.
Peter Ustinov played the old man. I thought it was a very British heavy cast.
Farrah Fawcett.
Oh yeah, was she in it? Anyway, it was that sort of 1970s, all good 1970s
Dystopian, wasn't
sci-fi
it?
nonsense. Anyway, the story of Logan's Run, when he gets 30, they kill you.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Mother Nature.
Put a
You're
spot on
if
your
you haven't
hand at
bred by
Claude.
30, you're on the scrap heap. Anyway, 25 years ago yesterday, the Russian Zarya module, which went up on a Proton rocket, and the US Unity model, which went up on the space shuttle, STS, 88, were joined together and started the build of the International Space Station. It was like typical space builders. It took them another 98, another 13 years to finish it. So it wasn't finished until it was half of its life.
I think the big robot arm was Canadian, wasn't it? It's called
Canadarm.
Canadarm.
That's
Yes.
Right, that's right. But yeah, it's a piece of. I just fear that we're in Concorde territory here.
Mm.
You know, where we'll invent something astonishing and then let it go, and then we won't.
Yeah. But the thing is, they're talking about building something like it out at the moon, aren't they?
Well, yeah, but Lunar Gateway is tiny. It's much smaller. It's nothing the size of ISS.
Oh, right, okay.
I'll miss it. I often, on a loose end, I'll fire up the app and go, "Oh, ISS is coming over in 25 minutes."
Yeah, and then go outside and look at the clouds.
Yeah. Yeah, and realise it's raining.
And yes, and realise you live in the UK and go, I'll go back in again.
I have a marvellous, in West Britain on the bedroom wall, I've got a small photograph. It's been done on a canvas like it's a painting, but it's a shot of the local coastline, and you sort of see lights in the distance, but it's the ISS going over Carmarthen Bay. It's fabulous. Really fabulous photograph. And I've done some time-lapse photographs myself of it. It's really astonishing. Anyway, it's 25 years old.
Oh, nice.
Okay, and there's one that you were mentioning. Yeah, Apology Officer, just before the show, the next one.
Yes. Yes, our supermassive black hole brings all the wandering stars to the yard.
An extragalactic intruder is what it's called.
An extragalactic intruder. So Sagittarius A star, which is familiar to all of us, is a supermassive black hole. It's something like 4.5 million times the mass of our sun. It's enormous, even though it's a black hole.
Before we go any further, and who was the first person there?
Oh, that was Commander Zulu Romeo. That was Haji.
Which he does not gain enough recognition for.
No. Apparently what's happened is there was maybe something from the Small Magellanic Cloud or possibly a small satellite galaxy of the Milky Way, which I didn't even know you could get. But they reckon this star has wandered across for there or been in a galaxy that gets sucked up by the Milky Way and has travelled 50,000 light years towards Sagittarius A star, and it's now one of the close orbiting stars around Sagittarius A star.
How do we know this?
It's spiraled its way in. They're saying it's to do with the chemical makeup, chemical composition. It's theorised.
Well, of course, Andromeda's headed here.
Yeah,
and that's 2 million light years away.
Yeah, but what they reckon is, see when Andromeda and the Milky Way collide, they reckon there won't be much in the way of collisions because there's so much space between the stars.
That's why it's called space.
Yeah, that the majority of them, they'll just come together and they won't smash into one another. They'll just all fit in between one another, and then it'll be the two supermassive black holes will spiral around one another, and then.
Well, it's a bit like, though. I mean, you think about the matter that's involved in your finger, right? There's tiny little nuclei and electrons whizzing around. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's a lot of space in atoms.
But
then you poke your arm with said finger, and it feels pretty flipping solid to me.
Yeah, I was just going.
Paoli's exclusion principle.
I was just going to say that. I'm going to try walking through a wall later.
Exactly. I mean, there's, we're made up of a lot of space, albeit with lots of bonds between all the space.
Yeah, it's the bonds.
Yeah,
it's the bonds that make you bump into things.
No.
No. If you concentrate hard enough, can you stick your head through a wall? Only if you're putting a lot of seams in the show, I suppose.
Roy Batty managed it in Blade Runner.
Well,
before he decided.
Yeah.
No, he
stuck his head through the wall. Was it a tiled wall, wasn't it, in the bathroom?
It was. It was a proper wall. Yes, it wasn't messing about.
I'm trying to remember the name of the Bradbury Building in Los Angeles.
Yes.
That's the one where he took Deckard's. He took Deckard's gun out his hand, broke his fingers, and gave him it back, didn't he?
Yes.
There you go. Yeah. So anyway, so this thing is it's SO6. And
it's
it's
because SO2 was the there's a marvelous animation. You can find it online showing the orbit, how they deduced that Sagittae was there. They looked at the orbit of the stars around it, and obviously Sagittae sat at the focus of the ellipse of all these stellar orbits.
Yeah.
And there's a marvelous animation of, in fact, based upon the true track of the stars, which is no mean feat to observe these things, because you're looking through the thickness of the,
you look through all the dust and the crap that's in between.
Christ, if you open the galaxy map, you try to navigate around there, it's a nightmare.
We're trying to click or anything,
Yeah.
I was just trying to find that animation.
I believe when Haji went to Sagittae, he had to do one jump at a time because it was
back
the
in the
early
old
days.
There you go. Animations on screen.
Oh, you found it, have you?
There wasn't even
there it is.
route planning.
That's fabulous. There you go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, like that.
So they observed the proper motion of all these stars and deduced that they must be orbiting something very, very large that we can't
Well, those
see.
two nearly hit one another.
Yeah, but don't forget they're all exerting gravitational influence on each other as well.
Yeah.
But the thing they're orbiting is stonkingly massive.
Yeah,
The thing you notice here is as they come around, some of them accelerate, and there's that one that bounces in, loops round, and whoosh round the corner.
Well, Kepler's third law, so all. Don't get me to quote the equation, I can't remember, but things trace out equal arcs, equal areas.
Here's those two
equal
coming
time.
again, just so close, and they're past.
Yes, Kepler.
Anyway, well, so that's. Now, the other one I did notice, and I'm going to throw a random one in here, about punching a hole in the atmosphere, or the ionosphere. Did you read that one?
No.
I'm just going to...
Just
a news article from today. U.S. Space Force may have accidentally punched a hole in the upper atmosphere. Article that came out today.
It's not Midgley again. He's not reincarnated and.
Well, let me just see if I can fire that one up on screen for you. Give me a second. Here we go. Agree. There we go. Oops. Space Force. Now, Space Force. There was that comedy program on with what's his face. Who was in Evan
Trump.
Almighty. What's his name? It was in The Office, American version of,
Steve Carell?
Steve Carell. He did a Space Force comedy program, didn't he? I think. But they cancelled it. But this is the real Space Force.
Ah.
Yes.
So even madder.
Yep. So they've actually managed to punch a hole in the ionosphere as they shot a rocket into space. And
Why?
Why? Well, we'll have to scroll down to read this one. A rocket carrying a US Space Force satellite into orbit may have punched a hole in the Earth's upper atmosphere after lifting off with just 27 hours notice. A record for the shortest amount of time from getting the go-ahead to actually launching. So I don't know what the urgency... Now, that tank is an advert for a game, I suspect. No. I haven't got my... ignore the tank. That's not the Space Force.
Space Force have launched a space tank into the orbit.
Apparently, their Victus Nox satellite, Latin for Conquer the Night, which will run a space domain awareness mission. Don't know what that means. Yep. The surprise rocket launch... What?
Hang on, I thought the Hubble and the James Webb Telescope were doing the space domain
No,
awareness
I
missions.
think they're not looking out. They're looking sort of around the Earth to see what naughty people are doing, or maybe North Korea launching satellites and whatever else. And
it's nothing really, is it? Because if Elon Musk can punch a hole in the Earth by launching a rocket into space, that's...
Yes, it's only gone the other way.
They were saying on this particular occasion that after the plume dissipated, a faint red glow remained in the sky, a telltale sign the rocket created a hole in the ionosphere, which stretches between 50 and 400 miles above the Earth's surface.
Great, so that's a hole in the ozone layer followed by a hole in the ionosphere.
Yeah. Apparently it's not the first one. The Falcon 9 created a blood-red patch above Arizona that could be seen for hundreds of miles. Rockets create ionospheric holes when fuel from their second stage burns in the middle part of the ionosphere.
Okay.
Apparently. Carbon dioxide and water vapor from the rocket's exhaust caused ionized oxygen atoms to recombine and form back into normal oxygen. This excites the molecules and leads them to emit energy in the form of light, similar to how auroras form.
Okay.
Nobody
apparently
told Greta.
They pose no threat and naturally close up within a few hours as the recombined gases get re-ionized.
Yeah, that sounds fine. When you explain how it happens, it all sounds very Very normal. Okay. Right. I can see a thing here that says Japanese Irish fusion poetry.
Yeah, I don't know what that one's about actually.
Well,
Who put that one?
That's
in
been
there?
chicks, hasn't it?
Well, I did. I was inspired by the Benjamin Zephaniah bit earlier on. So, if we finish with space news, I could do a little bit of Japanese Irish fusion poetry. If you.
Oh yes, please.
There once was a young man from Cork who got haikus and limericks confused. Thank you.
Was thank you part of it or not? I hope not.
Well, of course not.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Somebody needs to ask me the question.
Do we?
There's no Amelia.
It's no Amelia. No, it's no. It's. I'll ask it. What on earth is this week's word of the week?
This week's word of the week, which itself isn't that special, but when I read the actual sentence that came with it, I thought, I need to have this. The word of the week is meldrop.
And what's the meaning of meldrop?
It's a drop of mucus at the nose, whether produced by cold or otherwise.
And can you use this in a sentence?
You watch me go. This sentence came from Simeon Graham in his book The Anatomy of Humours 1609. But look again on the other part of snotty-nosed gentlemen, with their drooping moustaches covering their mouth, and becomes a harboy to meldrops, and a sucking sponge to all the watery distillations of the head. He will not spare but to drink with any body whatsoever, and after he hath washed his filthy beard in the cup, and drawing out drooping, he will suck the hair so heartily with his underlip. Ew.
Don't
Ew.
knock it until you've tried it.
Yo, it's just vile.
No, it's not.
And that's why I had to include it.
I just save that bit till later.
Yeah. Oh no, he wasn't saving it till later. He was sucking it out his beard. He was sucking it out his moustache like.
Right, now I'm revolted, and
Yes,
you need to stop. I'm so revolted, I'm actually going to invite you to take this section out before I work out what seam I'm going to insert next for Flossy.
Right, you are. Which Proclaimers song has anteaters in it?
Jeff.
Jeff?
No, not Jeff. Aardvark 500 miles and Aardvark 500 more.
Is it a letter from America?
I just sung it!
Oh.
Aardvark 500 miles and Aardvark 500 more.
Is it I'm on my way?
Yeah.
From the seminal album Sunshine on Leith in 1988?
Yeah, why not? Fuck off.
Oh, harsh. Okay, now...
Anyway, Aardvark!
Where are you walking? What? Is it far? I'm covering because I've lost the button. Shush, quick.
Right. Well, if you start shouting Aardvark, it'll buy you a bit of time. Aardvark!
What are the jungle drums saying?
Oh, hang on a second. I think I've got the button here. It might be this button. Hang on a second. Let me do it. Flossy, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
There's a drum roll.
Seamless.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, Flossy here with this week's CG News. Last week's CGs, Nakato Cane Delivery Initiative to Tier Nisla, did not reach Tier 1, so unfortunately failed, despite over 6 million units being collected. The Protect deliveries to Tier Nisla finished just short of Tier 3, but then their Tier 1's a lot lower anyway, and they had 27,674,224,824 credits earned. In a Pilots Federation alert earlier today, Councillor Nakato Kane has announced that a delivery campaign in the TNSL system has not reached its target. Addressing the Alliance Assembly, she said, "The purpose of this campaign was to demonstrate the core principles of the Alliance: independence, self-sufficiency and mutual support. While we received millions of units, our target quota was not filled. I believe there are important lessons to be learned here. We must not lose faith in the Alliance's ability to remain self-sustaining in military infrastructure. The Strategic Defence Pact between the Alliance and Sirius Corporation is being subjected to an independent inquiry. A vocal minority of councillors in the Assembly are critical of their corporate partners' inability to deliver anti-Xeno ships or activities." Sirius Corporation CEO Lee Yong-hui offered this comment to reporters. Sirius Corporation's continued efforts to supply the Alliance Defence Force with upgraded modules and resources have been hampered by the Alliance Assembly in recent months. Kane's rogue operation in TNSL only demonstrates how partisan some of us have become. If the Defence Pact had received unconditional support, just imagine what triumphs and successes Sirius might have delivered by now. The Alliance Rapid Reaction Corps has confirmed that pilots who earn bounty vouchers protecting traders can now collect their rewards from Brett's High. The intended discount on the Alliance Challenger, Chieftain and Crusader has been cancelled due to the delivery campaign's failure to reach its targets. There are no new CGs this week, so that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
Well, assuming David has found the correct button, we now hand over to Beetlejude and Witherspoon for this week's Galnet News Digest. That was close.
Galnet News Digest, 7th of December 3309. We read the news so you don't have to. In this week's news, nearly half of the Thargoid spire sites have been shut down. And Nakatu Kane's protest against the Sirius Corporation has been a massive flop.
More spire sites have been rendered inactive this week, with the rate of progress enhanced by Professor Palin's Spire Contamination Programme. Last week, all of the spire sites surrounding Titan Tyrannus were taken offline by a combination of combat and the contamination missions. This week, all of the spire sites around Titan Ligong are dead, 5 out of the 8 spire sites in the space controlled by Indra are offline, and 1 site near Kokijo and 1 near Thor have also been disabled. Only the Oya, Raijin and Haddad spire sites remain fully active. Reporter Gus LaChapelle, who toured one of the inactive sites near Indra, described it as an alien cemetery. His words are somewhat dramatic.
The eerie stillness surrounding me now is even more unnerving than when I visited this horror factory before. Bioluminescent nodules no longer pulse their sticky glow. Spires blot out the stars above, twisted towers made from solid night. Mega barnacles have ceased producing their foul byproducts. I'm walking through an alien cemetery. The soldiers escorting me constantly perform pirouettes with their weapons, trigger twitchy, but there are no black-hulled monstrosities spitting fire from the shadows or wheeling across the sky. Only rotted mineral sacks drooping from mechanical vines and decaying chunks of necrotized metal. Even the nerve points that once triggered glandular responses have grown dull.
Le Chapelle attributed the shutdowns to Palin's contamination missions, but the first sites were already inactive in the weeks leading up to those missions becoming available. The Anti-Xeno initiative mounted a sustained assault on one of the Spire sites near Thor at the weekend, and it seems likely that that and other sites will soon join the 20 that have been disabled already. With almost half of the Spire sites rendered inoperable, the strain on the Thargoids' logistics must be becoming severe. However, there is still no indication that either the Titans or their battle fleets have become any weaker as a consequence of the loss of the Spire sites. Professor Seamus Madigan, who is currently working with Aegis, admitted it remains unclear if or how the Titans will be affected by the loss of all these Spire sites. In spite of their continuing retreat, the Thargoids have this week managed to invade 2 new inhabited systems. Ground-based Coney installation in the HIP 1111-1 system has put out an appeal for AX pilots to help drive the Thargoids back. Roloff's Horizons in HIP 224 is the other ground base currently under attack. Commanders are asked to assist at both sites if they can.
Flossy told them what to do, and this week commanders ignored her. The Sirius Corporation has said it is delighted that the Alliance rebels, led by Nakato Kane, have failed to demonstrate the ability of the Alliance to defend itself without Sirius's help. Councillor Kane invited commanders to help build up a reserve of military supplies in the Tionisla system, to be administered directly by the Alliance, to start the long process of weaning the Alliance Defence Force off its dependence on the Sirius Corporation. Sirius supplies the upgrades for all Alliance megaships, and provides extensive, if somewhat ineffective, logistical support to the Alliance's efforts to turn back the Thargoid tide. Sirius CEO Lee Yong-ri blamed the Alliance Assembly for interfering with the Sirius Corporation's work to keep Alliance fighters supplied, suggesting that Councillor Kane is one of the reasons Sirius has not been as effective as it might otherwise have been. Kane restated her belief that the Alliance will become capable of defending itself without support from Sirius, but she said that in the light of the disappointing support for her initiative, the promised discounts on Alliance anti-Xeno spaceships have been cancelled. Prime Minister Edmund Mann, who supports the Sirius Defence Pact, was approached for comment.
And that's this week's Galnet News. Galnet News. We read the news so you don't have to.
I think the blooper reel might be the other.
I may have muted myself when I asked that question as well. So the stream seems. What I was saying, dear listener, was yes, I do miss the blooper reels at the end of that one.
I think you'll find that the blooper reels are the hour or so either side of it.
Yes, we are the extended blooper reel.
We are the extended blooper reel that surrounds Galnet News. Yes,
the ones where Beetlejude gets the giggles and can't read the lines.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had a message just now saying there's an update in the chat from none other than Volcarius.
Yes. It's pasted right below. It says, Titans have started attacking after months of demonstrably not attacking. So further plans are off on our end. And then says, we only did it because we tested whether they could attack and found otherwise.
As in, had we permanently stopped them, but...
Yeah, and it seemed to work. The idea was back them into a corner and see if they fight their way back out. So they backed them into a corner. They didn't seem to be able to fight their way back out. And now they've started fighting their way back out. And you go,
like most.
But we checked. Yes.
Well,
It's
is
like,
it something
but we checked.
something 1111? I saw a message about HIP 1111 or something got attacked this week.
Yeah, it'll be something like that.
Yeah, I think Volcarius can confirm it. I think I read something about HIP 111111 many ones. Yes. I think we were testing whether having beaten them they'd come back or not, and yes, it turns out they do. But it gives the AX players
nothing to do.
Yes.
Nothing to do with HIP 11111. It was HIP 8887 attacked HIP 9016.
Well, as far as I can tell, Burpit did notice there were invasions this week in 2 systems. Something that hasn't happened for a while. HIP 11111 has a surface port offering AX opportunities as well as passenger and medevac missions.
Yeah, but HIP 11111 might not have been backed into a corner. It might just have been a normal run-of-the-mill thing that was happening. You see?
Well, there was an invasion, so a port under attack. Thargoids are attacking this port. It says.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they came from a shut-down Titan.
Okay, well, maybe it was completely unconnected, but basically we let them have a little bit of leash and they strained at it.
Yeah, Commander Volcarius has said those invasions are at other Titans.
Take your eye off the ball, Volcarius. Gah. What will we do without Hackswing, hey? But no, and there were the season 30 results came out that basically said they do keep a log on the forums of how all the seasons are doing. I don't know whether you ever read those.
No.
No, okay, but basically how the contributions are doing on the various season. What are we on, season 70?
You said 30. You said season 30.
30? Yeah, season 30. I think we're on.
Right.
33. Here we go. Season 33 squadron results were out as of yesterday at 7:44 p.m. The anti-Zeno contribution, 187 pages of it. The winners this season were Fédération Québécoise with 5% of all the points, with the Anti-Xeno Initiative in second, a Galactic Xenophobic Initiative, they're very friendly, in third. Apparently the Thargoid Spire site showed a rise in the number of AX active squadrons and a record-breaking rise in the total AX activity. And only the second season where estimated AX activity has exceeded trade activity. There we go.
Right, so I've got Volcarius here saying the big missing news there is that we actually emptied Lagong of systems only for it to attack our test system from months ago.
Right.
So what they were doing was they were testing clearing all the systems round about a Titan and backing it into a corner to see if it could fight its way back out. And what happened is it didn't. And then they were thinking, right, maybe we're in the position now that we can follow it in. We'll clear all the systems round about the Titans because it clearly doesn't fight its way back out. Then we can go in and start doing stuff in the Titan systems. And what's happened this week is the Titans have, after months of not doing anything, have gone boom and started attacking systems.
It's a bit like squeezing Stretch Armstrong, and you don't know which bit's going to bulge, and his arse bulged this time.
No, they couldn't do it before. That's the thing. You back them into a corner and they stay in that one system. And now suddenly they started jumping back out after months of not jumping back out. So this stuff was done ages ago. And then suddenly, it's as if the rules have changed. I think what the reading between the lines, it's as if the rules have changed. They've kind of changed what they can do. Because before you'd back them into a corner, you'd get all the satellite systems freed. You'd back them into a corner and it would just sit there.
Look at that.
And now it's going to
change the rules.
Yeah. See, I knew that. I'm getting your narrative. I think we might be the same medication, Volcarius.
We all know people like that who change the rules.
Yeah. Well, there are also maximum of 6 alerts per Titan now instead of 5. Ooh.
Somebody's turned the knob.
Listen, if you're finding yourself at loose
somebody's
ends,
turned
you
the
can
knob
always
on one of the speakers. What's humming?
Oh, I don't know.
There's a hum there.
I don't think it's me.
It's Thargoids. There's definitely Thargoids in the control.
Well, anyway, I was going to say to Volcarius, if he finds himself at a loose end, he can always come and spend some time in my Imperial Majestic class interdictor.
And Basque.
And Basque, yes. I'll even let him go to the gravity ring.
Well, back to the original subject, though. I was
Yes.
looking at the results from this season, by the way. Combat.
Oh, yes.
Celestial Light Brigade, 1%. Anti-Xeno Initiative. Yeah, well, that's because they're doing combat against Thargoids and Stellar Nebula Project. Exploration, 695 pages, because that's how you get rich to pay for your fleet carriers. Apparently, the Endurance Exploration team got 6% of all the points. The Intergalactic Astronomical Union and Stellar Nebula Project came silver and bronze. All of their names are appropriate to it. Power Play, well, 695 pages of results for exploration, 22 pages of power play. I mean, somebody's doing it still, but Federal Liberal Command...
That's a good amount of exploration as well.
Yeah, it certainly is. Trade, 549 pages of results, with the Pilots Booze Network Squadron taking gold. We approve.
I wonder when they trade in.
We doff our Hutton Truckers caps at the Pilots Booze Network Squadron. There, we approve of that one. Whoever you are,
they'll be sucking mill drops into their moustache.
Yeah, absolutely. And second was the Pilot Trade Network, and then the German Space Cruisers Inc. were in third place. Hang on a second, it's that time of day. Oh, there we go. That
Way
noise.
ahead of you.
But the one that caught my eye.
You watch them when you're drinking that. You don't want to catch any distillations of the head. Watery distillations of the head.
No, or as Flossy did during the talk, definitely don't. Anyway, we don't mispronounce the word dipping as something else entirely. You think we didn't notice, Flossy, by the way?
Got it right in the second attempt.
You definitely didn't do that earlier.
No, I didn't know.
No, Flossy, did you see dicking?
You did, yes. In fact, were you dicking below 1,000 for the first time in 2 months?
Oh, no way. It's been cold. It's been very cold outside.
I'm going to be testing my new high-speed internet later by uploading this and then playing it back just to double check you weren't dicking below 1,000 for the first time in 2 months. But apparently your 4-week average is still above 1,400, Flossy, which is, far be it for me to comment.
That's a lot of that's a lot of dicking.
It's an awful lot of dicking. Yes. You thought I hadn't noticed.
I was hoping nobody noticed.
Well, you did it so smoothly that I commented to Chicks, and he said, no, I heard the word dipping. Well, maybe on the second attempt, yes.
Well, I wrote the word dipping, so...
Well, yes. Anyway, what was catching my eye, other than Flossy's "she thought she got away with it, but oh no, she didn't" comment, was a certain category here with only 20 pages of results in it, which is not really surprising, but it's one that Hutton don't have a gold in.
Well, that's most of them.
Well, yeah, we got the important ones. We got trade and exploration.
Exploration, that's it.
I thought we got combat, no?
No, we got silver in exploration as well. You remember going for silver?
I seem to remember Hotbox had 2 golds and a silver.
Yeah, but I noticed that CQC has only 20 pages of results.
Yes, we might have had a gold in CQC. That might have been our other gold.
Yeah, but I'm not sure we do, and it's only 20 pages. And I'm not sure it'll take more than an afternoon's work by, Valcarius to put us into gold
Alex
in CQC. Or Alex Zuno, yes. I think that a couple of afternoons...
Yeah.
We haven't done one of those for a while, and it is coming up to the winter holidays. The Hutton's got a bit more free time kind of holidays.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I might investigate that one and invite a few Hutton truckers to get some points in that one, because I think we might be able to scrape an extra medal for the dashboard.
Could do.
Low-hanging
I mean,
fruit.
There's no way.
Oh, listen, that's why we did it. We actually wrote so close. We were right. Fucking go. Because that was back when Hotbox were still doing the regular CQC meetups.
I refuse on the basis that I want my CQC rank to remain helpless, surrounded by all the other elites.
Oh, it was great fun. I have to say though, CQC is a lot of fun if you're in there, right? the right group of people, it is a laugh.
Okay, the horror, oh my God. Okay, sometimes you get messages through that you have to drop everything and look at them. I just had a message that's made me go all pale and shaky all at once.
Oh no.
It's a message from LCU.
Oh God, he's not going to sing, is he?
Got a Christmas song and video on its way.
Oh no.
Should be ready in time for next week. Toko-san wrote the music so you can play it.
Yeah.
I'm almost glad I'm not.
We have no doubt
Yes,
that Toko... Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was going to say I hope not, but thanks for the warning. Oh God.
I enjoyed doing that last year.
Oh, did you know?
Yeah. Well, we might enjoy. The thing is, the Christmas panto this year. Unfortunately, we don't want to do it in one voice, but so I'm having to work out how we do it. So what we're going to have to do is do the panto within a panto thing. You know, the whole Murder of Gonzago kind of approach to it. Oh yes, we do. It's behind you. We might have to do the whole play within a play thing, so that Flossy gets to say rude words.
I was just going to say the words anyway. We just
stained it.
We just have 5 minutes at the end where Flossy can swear.
We just need
get
to
it out of our system.
If I can get an hour and a half out of John Delancey, we can get 5 minutes of swearing out of Flossy.
Oh yeah, you'll easily get 5 minutes. You'll probably get more than an hour and a half. She could outdo Delancey, no bother.
Anyway, right. We're whiffling and waffling on. Or I am, because it's my week on the show, and we've got 8 minutes to go until the hour. We haven't got. What happened to all of these drops? By the way, they were happening, and then I went away with work, and then they stopped happening. Haven't we got winter drops yet?
I've noticed it. We haven't had that.
Christmas drops.
Have we?
Keep cancelling them.
I'm just looking. The last were Python Underworld and Cobra Underworld. So that tells me it's Halloween.
They were born slippy.
So they were the October. Because the last live stream was October.
Actually, Flossy, you're younger than John Delancey as well.
Am I?
Yeah, he's 75 and shorter. Yeah.
An awful lot. In fact, everybody I know is shorter than John Delancey. I'm pretty sure. Even Remklep is shorter.
Even John Delancey.
John Delancey. Oh.
Yes.
John Delancey's height is 1.93 metres, so he's well over 6 foot.
I think he's actually maybe taller than that as well, having stood next to him.
Yeah.
It's even Lego Lass's legless Lego Lass shorter than John Delancey.
Well, supposedly he's 6'2", but having stood next to him with a slight stoop in him, maybe it was his big hair, but I think he's taller than that.
This thing says 6'3", so you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that voice has to come out of somewhere, and he's even at his advanced years, he's still massively tall. Maybe because he's skinny, he looks taller. And by skinny, I mean slim, but not unhealthily so.
There's a guy here who's measured himself next to all of them.
What?
There's a guy here who's been measured himself. He's got photographs next to all of the people from Star Trek.
Oh no, not these assholes.
Yeah.
Those ones, yes.
I'll put a link in the chat. It's just very funny.
My cup runneth over with delight, but let's fill it up the next time with a good scotch.
Anyway, right. I'm trying to fill another 6 minutes or so. So, what's our schedule coming up for the next bit? Because obviously, I talk about myself. I'm now gainfully unemployed. I have flushed myself down cubicle 3 after 25 years in the same career.
You know, it makes sense.
As of today, I have told my largest client that I no longer wish to do the stuff I was doing. So as of this week, I am now a gentleman of leisure for at least a few weeks.
Welcome to the club.
Which basically means doing a load more HCS stuff. Now, I was supposed to do an HCS stream last week, but poor Gary got plague, and his kids got plague and whatever else. Gary from Voice Tech, which meant I couldn't do my other stream, which was the techie stream, and we're hoping to do one sometime soon about stuff. Mostly to do with AI and simulated AI and real AI and things like Ad Astra and all those kind of bits and bobs. So there is a live stream that I'm doing that's not Hutton related sometime soon, all about what we're doing with voice packs. Coming soon. So I'm going to be doing that one, and you've got me. Let's have a look. This weekend I'm off to the Barbican. Next weekend I'm off to drink all of my former clients' champagne, having fired them.
Did you
That's
say
going to
you
be
weren't
fun.
here next week?
I think I am. Yes.
I'm not here next week.
You're not here. Litho might have got the taxi
Brizzle.
back. You're in where?
Brizzle. Bristol.
Why?
I'm going to a party.
Okay, Flossy, are you generally around, or are you hanging around in the pub with your gorgeous fan club?
I'll be here next Thursday. Well, Friday I've got a party with my former colleagues.
Right, so it looks like we've got a show on the 14th. We've probably got a show on the 21st, and we're probably going to aim for doing Hutton Christmassy panto things around the 21st if we can get it recorded in time, or we're going to perform it live. We might have to perform it live. We'll see. We normally record these things and edit them. We certainly are not playing LCU's thing next week because it's too far out from Christmas. Then, was it 28th is the one after that? I don't know who's around, who's away, but we've managed to not clash into major days like, Boxing Day, or I'm drinking too much alcohol today day, or, those kind of things. So 28th, and then yes, we've got nothing till the 4th. So I don't think we hit any major celebration days between now and, what's the year? 3310? Which is all right. So yes, we're probably going to aim for trying to do the Hutton Christmas special on the 21st. But if we decide it's taking too much to edit, we might do it to get over the leftover turkey on the 28th.
Do you think the apology officer is looking forward to the following year? The one after 3310?
11!
3310 and
3311.
3311.
Oh, and by the way, for the Doommongers, we did get a message from Frontier via their share and trading statements that they are continuing to support Elite Dangerous.
Yeah.
In big letters, by the way. They're dropping everything else apart from simulation games, like these base building games, and Elite Dangerous.
And if they're not, we're paying a visit. We're wrenching out the servers and going to plug them into your new internet.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we shall see. We've had 0 dropped frames so far in 1 hour and 27 minutes and 14 seconds. Right, I'm blathering because I'm not giving up till we hit
You've only
2
got
more
a minute
minutes.
and 2 seconds.
Oh, I suppose we've got credits, haven't we? We could do that.
Fire off the credits.
We haven't gotten Amelia, which means, do we need to do the warning? Can we just do a no shouty end to the show?
Yes.
Can we just do a quiet one?
Yeah.
By the way, let's have a look. Who are we going to raid tonight? Are we going to raid anybody tonight?
Ooh. Have we? What are the choices? What are the options?
Go back to chat. Let's have a look. Is there anyone streaming this evening?
You can see Stargoid is on.
Stargoid?
10 people streaming Warzone.
Eralm237. Eralm Eralm. ERALM underscore
11.
11. Right. So Eralm ERALM underscore 237 is also on.
And have they got anybody?
They've got 75. Stargoid's got 25. So we go for Stargoid.
Yeah, let's go with Stargoid. Well, usual rules apply.
There's also Flotastic 91, who's only got 7.
Oh, how do you spell that one? FLO-tastic or FLOW?
Yes, FLOW.
FLOW.
Tastic. 91, all one word.
91. Assuming they don't bail on us. Right, so standard rules apply, Hutton Truckers. We're going to do the end of the show now. We're not going to yell at you. You don't have to put your speakers away from your ears, whatever else. We're going to play the credits, which is going to have the misspelt woolly. We have to have Christmas recipes. By the way, if anybody's got some special Christmas recipes for the credits for the next few weeks, could you please send them to itookpart@huttonorbital.com, please? And if you're going to spell woolly, please put the right number of O's and L's in it.
Like a deep-fried Christmas pudding.
Or deep-fried Christmas Hutton mugs. Deep-fried Christmas indie bourbon. Right, so we're going to do the end of the show. I have got the button. The other reason I'm blathering is because I've lost the end of the show button as well. No, I've really lost.
That's the bong.
That's
Ooh,
a bong.
bongs.
No, I've completely lost the end of the show button. Hang on a second.
Oh,
I've had about 20 buttons fall off my screen at the moment. There we go.
You shouldn't have had that kind of shandy.
Oh, credits. There we go. I've got a credits button. So hang around. We'll do the credits. At the end of the credits, we're going to go and raid Flowtastic 91. Be lovely, be kind, give them a for the mug, and that's it for this week.
For the mug.
Night, everybody. Sleep tight.
For the mug. For the mug.
No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading up the T-9s to the brim with grace. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Swivel likes the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the front, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody yell. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. Give me a launch pad that I can land on, and I'll give you my cargo and sing you my song. North Part 22 light years to go. Cruising to Hutton, whoa, whoa, whoa. No journey too long and no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We'll take anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud like you don't even care. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the mug, yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the mug, now everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Ladies and gentlemen,
That's
The end of the show.
everyone's buggered off. Why don't you bugger off too?
Hutton Orbital Radio, broadcasting from a system near Seoul. Is that our soul?